Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm very happy to bring you today a friend, a client, a friend, a client, a friend, a flyant. Just the word, Tracy. What do you think?
Flyant, yeah. Maybe I'll grow wings.
So I always like to set up a little framework before I bring a guest on. I met Tracy 7 years ago in a group that both of us no longer attend. It was a business networking group. Mm-hmm. And you were fun. And everybody seemed to think that you knew what you were doing. So that was intriguing to me. Okay. Then I went on a trip to Chicago and I slept wrong. And I came back and everybody told me I should go see Tracy Alan Jones. Nobody said Tracy Jones. They said you should go see Tracy Alan Jones.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then I went and I had no more pain and it did not feel like a, so Tracy owns Tampa Bay Sports and Medical Massage. Drew, did I say that right?
Yep, you were all over it.
Nailed it. Okay. And I went, and when you hear massage, you think, ooh, it's going to be so nice. that shit hurt. But I had no pain the next day, and so I've been a believer ever since. With that said, Tracy, welcome to the show. Tell everybody.
I'm just a guy who likes to help and wants people to be healthy and to get the most out of life, to be at the top of their game as often as they can. I know that that's not realistic to stay there 100% of the time, but to get there when you need, when would like to be there, that's what I want to help them be there, whether that's in sports or business or family life or whatever.
Okay. Well, I'm going to brag on you a little bit because I know you're not going to do about yourself. I know that about you already. And here goes Tracy being embarrassed.
It's true.
He starts to giggle. I know he's embarrassed. He's embarrassed because, I don't know, he has like his master's, he's a social worker, he's trained athletes from here to, I don't know, Notre Dame. You have worked with iron workers and triathletes, and you've like developed courses, and I don't know, you're one of those people that's always achieving more, which is annoying to somebody like me who didn't go to college.
And I'm sort of playing the trombone.
And you play the trombone.
Badly, terribly badly.
So Tracy, through this glorious pandemic that we're all living in right now, and of course I'm being facetious saying glorious, but I'm tired of all the horrible adjectives. He has been playing the trombone on Facebook, and it is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Just because you are playing the trombone. Tell me why that happened.
Why the trombone? When I was in 7th grade, I was in band for like a month. Mm-hmm. My dad was in the Air Force. We lived in Germany, so I was in band for like a month, and then we moved. I took the horn home one time, and we moved. But I always had the mouthpiece. So I was like, I play the trombone, And in like January, I was digging through a drawer, and I found that mouthpiece. And then it turned out I got a phone call from Sam Ash Music because I'd bought a piece of equipment, and they gave me a credit, or because it went on sale, I guess, right after I bought it. So they were calling me to say, hey, you have this credit. How would you like to use it? You can use it for more equipment or an instrument, or you can use it for lessons. And I was like, lessons? I play the trombone.
Wow. So you were doing virtual training sessions?
No, I actually had started taking lessons in February. So I had about 4 or 5 lessons, and then this thing hit and they shut down. So I got enough to get something started, and then I just kind of willed myself through songs that I knew that I found in the book. But my goal is to be able to read the music so I can just learn anything if I just have the sheet music. And so that's what I'm trying to do. But it really helps if you can hear it in your head. So.
I mean, I'm just so proud of you. I thought I was going to learn the piano. You know, everybody was like learning, they're like doing puzzles, or they were like crafting. And I thought I was also going to have that kind of time. I was excited about it. And that didn't happen. I mean, and I say that with all the empathy I can have for people that weren't busy, but because I work in the healthcare industry, and it was like and a media company that I own, it was busier than ever. So what has business been like for you through the pandemic?
Okay, through the pandemic. Well, in March, the governor declared that we shut down, which was just fine because people had stopped coming in anyway. Because I think in Florida, at least in my community, people were shutting down before the shutdown was declared. But then when that happened, yeah, definitely shut down. That lasted for about 6 weeks. And then in phase one, we were included in phase one under voluntary medical procedures, so long as we could follow some CDC guidelines like sanitation and masking and all that good stuff. So if I get close, you might be able to see the lines from my mask today. And so we've been doing that and sanitizing like crazy and screening people as best we can, given the situation. One of the things that's clear is just that people still were physically suffering, and we couldn't really do anything about it. So I did some consultations over the phone. I signed up for Zoom myself, so that I could do face-to-face consults and try to coach people through some things. I did a 2-hour lecture with some massage therapists in Las Vegas. A friend of mine owns a clinic out there, and she was like, "Can you keep my team sharp?" And I was like, "Great idea." So we did that, and that was fun and entertaining. But those were the kind of things. Now, since we've opened back up, I'd say we're operating, like the first week we were about 25% and then 30%. And this week we've been a little over, or last week we were a little over 45% of what we had been prior to. We were doing about 4,500 a week between the team, which is pretty good for us. And we've been in the low 30s, high 20s, low 30s in terms of hours of therapy performed in the last week. So things are ramping up, and yet, you know, we're still able to gap people and keep traffic from intersecting too much in the clinic, which I'm pretty happy about, because that's kind of that CDC guideline thing. And they're saying, well, you can't have more than 50% capacity, and I'm like, it's just me and another person in a room. I mean, I don't know how. Like, I don't have anyone to kick out.
Right. It's kind of hard to navigate through, I know. And after our chat today, I will have the great pleasure of speaking to a healthcare attorney that basically just scares the crap out of me when it comes to this, because she's working very closely with assisted living facilities and also with CDC. So I'm quite sure to be, sleeping with my mask. I'm not sure. But so I want to talk about a few things. I want the audience to understand the difference of what you offer versus what getting a massage is like. So yeah, this should be fun hearing it from me. And this is the truth, today I was sharing with somebody about a physician that I am working with personally. And so she asked if she should see this doctor. And I said, well, what's the matter? What's the matter for you? And she said it was something like, I don't know, sciatica or something like that, right? You know, I'm not a clinician. I have no clue what the hell she's talking about. And I immediately went, oh, no, you need to see Tracy. Because all I had to know was that there was a pain in her body. That's all. I knew she had pain, and I knew that I had pain in my neck that time, and you fixed it, and it wasn't comfortable and it wasn't fun. So when I hear somebody say pain, I immediately, as somebody who believes in science, alternatives, I think it's sometimes we are best served to exhaust a lot of efforts before we take another step.
Right.
Also, I know this woman is an athlete, so there you go.
There you go. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. But this is all the time for me. I always think about you first when it comes to athletes, especially, and they're having pain. I know you know how to work pain out, and it hurts, but it works. And medical massage and sports massage is much different. And I don't think that you guys get enough street cred, actually, for what you do and what service you provide. So why don't you tell the good folks at home about what it is that you are actually doing without, you know, I know you have like your MBA and you're super smart.
You want me to try not to use 50-cent words?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do my best. So what we do is we help people on their journey to wholeness so that they can live impactful lives.
Great.
We do that through the scientific application of touch, right? And so when I say scientific application of touch, we have assessment processes where we measure people to see what's out of balance or the range of motion, or we can feel the tissue to see if something's tight or if there's congestion in the tissue. And then that guides us in figuring out what muscles to apply the massage to. But then it also lets us know if we actually were effective in what we did so that we can try something else, right? Because as Einstein said, if you repeat the same behavior and expect different results, that's insanity. And I didn't want to be crazy with my massage. I wanted to be effective. And so that conscientious scientific application of hands-on techniques is what we do. And I think that affords us some success as a result.
There you go. Well, I like how that sounds, and I believe it because I've seen you work with people and get them better, and I have witnessed it myself. I, as somebody who worked in a company that recommended actual medical massage, know that we got really, really great feedback from a lot of the patients that we sent to folk like yourself. So I want to skip and go, deep for a second with you, if you don't mind, because we're diving deep. I know you help swimmers too. So there's that. I know that you've had a really, really tough time over the last few months. I don't even know if it's just been 2020. I don't know. I can't remember anymore. I just know that you've had a lot of loss in your life. You lost the love of your life. Yeah. You lost your father. You lost your brother. It's COVID-19, and there is racial wars going on in the world. So on your website, it says, your mission is to heal. And I would like to know how you are doing in terms of your own mental health and what you can do as somebody who's looks like you're sitting right in front of me.
Right.
Up to life. What are you doing to heal today?
Wow, there's so many things that I was able to plug into, and that I'm not sure I know the answer to that question, but I'll tell you what I do most days, because it's difficult right now. My love language is physical touch. Go figure, as a massage therapist, and for several months, I lost Lori last year in September, And for several months, it was actually my work that kind of buoyed me, because I was able to kind of express that and practice my love language with people. And, you know, that kind of kept me going, and it gave me structure to my day, so I didn't just fall to pieces. So when the shutdown happened and I stayed home all day, all of that structure went away. I also was plugging into 12-step fellowship and getting a lot of support there with my community there. My work community was very supportive. I would get hugs wherever I could. Well, suddenly that was gone, and I had to settle for virtual hugs. Now, I do have 2 dogs, one of whom is not very cuddly, and the other one who's okay if her foot is touching me. But other than that, she's not super cuddly either. But that didn't stop me from snatching them up and hugging them. So the joy of having pets around had been very, very helpful. And I gotta say, one of the best things was plugging into a Facebook community for widows and widowers.
Ooh, nice.
Because I could connect with them and, you know, get supported when I felt okay and be supported when I didn't feel okay. And it really was kind of helpful. And then I have a lot of friends. Social media is kind of nice because I don't think back in the day I could have, you know, put out a message in a bottle, so to speak, and had people respond. But I think social media, you know, whichever one you're plugged into, you can put out a message in a bottle and say, I'm lonely, or I'm hurting now, and people will respond. You know, people respond. They reach out. It's a way to do it when you don't feel like you have someone in particular that you can reach out to. I know that when I'm suffering, there are moments where it's early or late, and I don't really want to call someone and wake them up because I don't feel that needy or that desperate, but I still could put out a call. And I could put a post up, and that lets people know, you know, my community know what's up, and then those people would reach out. One trick that I learned, I gotta share this with you. One trick that I learned is on Facebook Messenger, it actually shows you who's active.
Ooh.
So one night it was like 2 a.m, and I was feeling pretty squirrely, and sad and upset about some stuff. And I looked on there and I saw one of my buddies was up. So I messaged him on Facebook Messenger, and I was like, dude, can you take a call? And he was like, sure, give me a call. And then we ended up talking for like 2 hours.
Awesome.
Because he works late, so he was awake anyway. So
I gotta say, you know, selfishly, why I asked you that is, well, number one, I care about you. I was at that beautiful service. I brought my parents. I always bring my parents when I think they can make somebody smile. So I think Tracy needs a dose of my parents. So I brought them. Plus they love the food that you served. So thank you for that. But it was beautiful, and it was such a nice tribute to her. And I wanted to mention that mostly for the audience, and particularly men who don't always have the opportunity to express themselves in a way that I have found you to be able to do. And I know that there are men out there that can express themselves, but I do, from what I'm hearing from you, is just you having community right now has been so beneficial, because that isolation, we know, you and I know well, can really eat us up if we allow it. And because we're all thinking about mental health right now through this, you know, horrific, I don't even know what to call it, cluster bomb, the world right now, we really need to rely on our community and be able to talk about how we feel. So kudos to you, Tracy.
Yeah, thanks. I did call other people too. I didn't only do Facebook. I just thought that was a good secret, you know.
And you answered the phone when I called you, so that was a good sign.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want people to worry.
Because if you didn't answer, they're like, where the hell are you? Hello, we're in quarantine. You're busy?
Yeah. I was blowing on my horn.
Right. Too busy playing the trombone, whatever the hell you're playing. Tracy, you're amazing. We're going to have all the information on our show notes. I know that you actually have somebody that needs your services right now. So I'm looking at the time for you.
I'm also going to post a picture of Cardinal that comes and hangs out in my yard. He would come every afternoon between 5:30 and 6 to get a tomato. I have a bush that grows these little tiny tomatoes, and he would come every day and get a tomato between 5:30 and 6, and we'd say, "Hey, what's up?"
I wonder who that is visiting you.
I don't know.
Oh, no. Well, that is really nice, and I know that you're connected to nature and connected to community like I am in a way that we are blessed to be connected to. So I share that same 12-step recovery group, and shit, we didn't even know that about each other when we liked each other.
No.
Yeah, usually it's a requirement. I'm like, oh, you cool? Then I like you, and if not, I
But
don't. Really great to see you, Tracy. Thank you so much, and stay strong, and I'll be in touch.
all right. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
So don't forget, if you mention that you have seen the show or listened to the podcast, Thai Technology, 3 months for free.